Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie, and today I have a little swatch and review of Olive's new ARCANA collection. This is their little 4-piece quad releasing for the upcoming holiday season. It has this loose tarot-inspired kind of vibe in these gorgeous metallic finishes. One of them is also a re-release from, I believe, their very first winter collection ever. So I'm excited to show you these, and I will save more of my thoughts after the comparisons. For now, let's just get into the swatches. The first polish we have is Stardust, which is described as a rose gold foil metallic. So even though it is described as rose gold, I personally would say the color is more of a champagne. It's a little more neutral, less pinky rose gold, but still very beautiful, and one of my favorite metallics from Olive, so I'm happy to see this one back. This is one of two foil metallics, which has a little bit more of a shimmery sort of appearance. It had really great coverage on the first coat and was fully opaque for me in just two. Then for the new shades, the first one we have is the Star, which is described as a lustrous silver foil metallic. So this one has the same visual kind of finish as the last shade, just in a cool silver color. It also has the same formula as well, where it's very full coverage on the first coat, though not fully opaque. You can still see a hint of visible nail line, though I think it is pretty much fully obscured in two coats. On camera, it looks like you can see some, but I could barely see it in real life. And this shade, if it isn't obvious, is inspired by the tarot card The Star. Then we have Dream, which is described as a warm purple ribbon metallic, which I really love this name that Walker came up with for describing this type of finish, because these much smoother kind of metallics really do look like satin ribbons. As you can see, this has another super full coverage formula. It is very opaque on the first coat, though I did have some sheer spots near the tips of my nail, but it was harder to see that on camera, I think. Of course, I would still recommend doing it two coats to make it fully opaque, and I would also be a little careful with your brush strokes. It's not super streaky, but just be careful. And rounding out the quad is Temperance, which is the royal blue ribbon metallic. So again, this one had the same finish as the last shade, having that much smoother, almost pearlescent metallic kind of satiny finish. Again, a really smooth, buttery, even formula that was just so easy to apply and fully opaque in two coats. I think this is such a vibrant shade of blue while still being so dark, I guess, for winter. It just feels so fitting, and this one is inspired by the Temperance tarot card. And here's a little skittle of the ARCANA quad worn in two coats with glossy top coat in natural lighting. Again, hopefully you can see that more champagne-y pale gold color of Stardust, where, I don't know, I personally wouldn't call it a rose gold, but I guess I could see it just leaning a much warmer peachy gold. I think I would say that one is still my favorite, but I do love these new ribbon metallics. I think they look especially great in lower lighting. They just have this kind of glow to them. Moving on to comparisons, we're starting with Stardust, and I first pulled out Morgan Taylor's Cuddle Me Tight, which is a pretty traditional yellow gold metallic, as well as Cirque's South Sea Pearl, which is also more of a yellow gold but a little bit more pale. So I think it's a little closer in tone to Stardust, but neither of these are dupes by any means. I thought some closer shades were Olive's Foliage, which is not a metallic, but it is a shimmery kind of finish that looks a little similar visually to Stardust, as well as ILNP's Sandbar, which is a magnetic, but you know, wearing it unmagnetized, it just kind of looks like a shimmer. So hopefully you can kind of see the similarities here. I would say maybe Sandbar is the closest because it does have a very cool silvery white kind of magnetic shimmer, but the base is much more sheer and warmer too, so definitely not a dupe. Next for the star, I pulled out Cirque's Sterling and Mooncat's Death Star, which are just other bright, silvery kind of shades. Though Sterling, I think, has a much finer, milled shimmer, so it kind of gives it a more smoother, metallic finish. Maybe not quite like the ribbon metallics from Olive Ave, but something in between. While Death Star, I think, visually looks a little closer to Olive Ave, but that one also has a holographic sparkle, so neither of these are dupes, but they are close at the same time. I think the closest to a potential dupe is Mooncat's Outlaw Country, which is a silver gunmetal kind of pearly metallic shade. Though again, that one is more of a gunmetal, which you can see in the base being a little bit darker, but the foil metallic finish is almost virtually the same, so just a slight color difference. Then for Dream, I was immediately reminded of two Olive Ave shades, Faerie and Nebula. Faerie because it has that same ribbon metallic kind of finish, being very smooth, almost like a satin bow, but that one's a little bit more of a magenta pink kind of color, so a little bit more warmer toned than Dream, which is a warm toned purple. So the color of Dream matches closer to Nebula, but I would almost call that a foil metallic. So basically, Dream is like the love child of these two shades. Dream was feeling really familiar though, so I thought maybe this was going to be close to Mooncat's Freshly Bitten, which is not a metallic, it's just a glowy shimmer kind of polish. I think the purple shimmer in Freshly Bitten is kind of close to the color of Dream, but the bases are totally different. And then for Temperance, I first thought of Supernova, which is a pretty old shade from Olive Ave. I believe this was from their very first winter collection, but it's basically another ribbon metallic, just in a more, I think I would say indigo color, so a little bit more purple leaning, especially once you see it on the nail. When it comes to a darker blue, I thought maybe Reflection would be a little closer, but that one's a bit too deep in its navy base, though it does have a brighter blue shimmer. It's just pretty subtle. And lastly, I figured I could show Temperance next to these two blues, which are very different finishes, but I thought color-wise they were very close, so just for reference, here it is next to Holo Taco Sky Lounge, which is a metallic micro flaky, and then Starrely's Oceanic Moonlight, which is a magnetic. So both of these almost have a more foil metallic looking finish compared to the smoother ribbon of Temperance, but again, color-wise, they're both pretty close. I think Starrily is closer. So that wraps up my swatches and comparisons of Olive Ave's ARCANA collection. As always, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this release because I thought it was really nice. I'm personally not the biggest fan of like metallic finishes, at least when it comes to doing full hand manicures, so I'm still a little figuring out how much I love these because I do think these do have really great potential for the holiday season when using them in nail art. I just haven't had the chance to do that yet, but I do think the colors are really beautiful. They feel, fun and festive for the winter season. I think especially for New Year's Eve, like the first two shades are perfect for New Year's Eve, but I feel like, incorporating either the blue and purple is also fun for a little bit of color. And yeah, as usual with Olive Ave, they just have really nice formulas, very smooth, easy to work with, so there's no complaints around that. So if you are interested in these, the good news is that they are already available. I believe they launched last week, right before Halloween. And as a reminder, I am an affiliate with Olive Ave, so I will have my affiliate link and discount code in the description box if you do want to pick these up while also supporting me and my channel. As always, a big thank you to all of you who do support me through that, but even if you don't plan on picking any of these up, I hope you still like the video, especially if you found the comparisons or my review helpful. And of course, let me know any and all thoughts you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!